Hello, everybody, and welcome. Happy New Year, first of all. This is the first time I'm going live in this platform this year. So I'm glad to be here today. And we are going to jump right in and talk about the topic of the day. Also, we're going to share about the raffles here with you. It's a really cool raffle. It's definitely something to get the year started on the right foot. So that's what the raffle is about. So stay tuned for that. It's about some really great books to get you going. And these books are being vetted by Ivor Liz. That is something that kind of my go-tos, especially when I want to get a big reset. So we're going to share with you here in a few minutes. But today we're going to talk about mastering sellers deals. Okay. And more specifically, we're going to talk about, so let me pull up my notes here. More specifically, we're going to talk about some of the things that you don't think about when you're dealing with sellers, okay? Or maybe they're not something that it pops up to you, when you're dealing with the seller. So that's what we're going to talk about, some of the strategies and techniques in really dealing with sellers, okay? Also, we share the PDF with you at the beginning of the week, so make sure you grab that PDF if you haven't done so already. And hold on here, let me get my screen where it is. And so, yeah, just make sure you come. So I know that you're here, that you're listening, that you are present, because, I don't see how many people are on the platform unless you chat and I get some feed coming from. So great. Okay, so let's talk about here mastering the seller. So first of all, when you know one of the things I hear, excuse me, I hear a lot from students is that, where are the scripts? Where are, what should I say? And I want you to think about, yes, there are some things that you should cover, but it's more about really building a relationship with the seller, really building a connection. Okay. So, with that said, I want you to think about this here. Go back to, let's say that you're out there and you are coming across property that you like, for your own sake. You say for your house, you drive down the street, you see a house you like, and you say, "Wow, I like that house," and maybe it needs some work, but see if I can talk to them and see if they're interested. So then you see this in movies, right? They go and stop the car, get out of the car, go to the front door, knock the door, and ask if the house is for sale, and the guy says no. And excuse me, they say no, and then you say, okay, what would you consider to sell it, right? Yeah, we see this in movie. There is a movie actually I'm thinking about with Jennifer Lopez called Enough, where there is the situation. Obviously, in this movie, the husband pays whatever this guy wants to sell the house. You're not going to do this as an investor, but this natural curiosity. I did this too. One time I was interested in this house in this neighborhood for my own sake. I wanted to stay in this area, but I needed a bigger house. Most of the houses were kind of smaller, but because of the kids, I wanted a little bigger house. And so I was driving around and saw this house, which was kind of unique for the area. It was a bigger house because it actually used to be a dairy farm back over 100 years ago. And I stopped and got the information on the house, wrote down the address, and went home, found who the owner was, and called. And they say, well, we're not going to sell right now, but we're probably going to sell within the next year because we're going to move to Florida. This was when I lived in the Midwest. I live to Florida now myself. And I kept in touch with them. And actually, about 4 or 5 months later, they said they wanted to sell. So I didn't use any particular scripts. And this is something I want you to kind of realize. Don't get hung up on scripts because you're really having a conversation. So when I talk to my students about talking with sellers, I say to them, don't count how many calls you do a day. Count how many conversations you do a day. I prefer you having 3 to 5 good conversations a day than calling 100 numbers but getting nowhere because a lot of people didn't answer. Some were rude. Some say no. So, that's the thing. Sort out how many actually you talk to and have some type of conversation. That's what you need to focus on. And then you want to of what is the situation you're calling about. Is this house something you drove by and found it was in disrepair? Is this house something that you found for tax delinquent property, or something going into foreclosure, right? You need to tailor a little bit a conversation based on what it is that's going on with this particular property. You can't just say, I'm calling with a script for everybody. No, if a house is going to foreclosure, you need to be a little bit, diplomatic about it. You're not going to say, oh, I know your house is going foreclosure in 2 weeks or on this date. No, just say, something about, I came across your house and I see that there are some situations going on here. And I just wonder if there is something we can do. Always be of service. What do they want to hear? They don't want to get patronized. They don't want to hear another person just, hey, I want to buy your house because they're going through foreclosure. You don't want to say that, right? I was working actually with one of the students yesterday and on an email or a letter to send out to people in foreclosures. And I was like, tell them that there is hope. Tell them that you have solutions for them to stop the foreclosure and to call you. I used to put out a report out there of 7 ways to stop a foreclosure. And I had a website. This was during, foreclosure days about 12, 15 years ago. And so I had a website and it says, you want to get a report on 7 ways to stop foreclosure? Of course, a lot of people are interested in foreclosure wanted to get a report. They were getting foreclosed. So in the email, in the letter we send out, we give them maybe 2 or 3 and say, and call me so we can discuss more options. So you want to entice them that way. If there is a tax delinquent property, again, see how we can do to make sure you keep your house, right? So that's how you get people to really talk to you, not by calling and saying, oh, I know your house is in foreclosure, or do you want to sell your house? That's like, obviously everybody says no. Even if they wanted to sell their house, they will say no just because they want to get you off the phone. So and listen more than you talk. Okay, listen more than you talk, because that's the other thing, especially beginners that they really not comfortable with the whole scenario or business yet. They tend to talk a lot more than you listen. Instead, you want to listen. You want to listen in between the lines what the seller's trying to say and communicate. Okay. So the second thing is go where the sellers are looking. Just put yourself in a situation, your shoes of you need to sell your house for whatever situation. Okay. What would be the first step you do, especially when you are in a situation of distress? If you are into going to foreclosures, if you are in bankruptcy, if you are in tax delinquent, or you're just tired of this rental, you're tired of filing eviction on people, what the first thing you do? You're probably going to go online and find more information, right? How to stop with foreclosures, how to stop a tax auction, going to tax auctions. And there are so many resources nowadays. You can even go on ChatGPT, you know, and ask, how do I find the seller that is going to go to foreclosures? Where do the seller look? There is also a website. It's called Ask the Public or Answer the Public, something like that. And it basically says what are the most searched terms for the people ask on Google. Let me check it out very quick. I think it's Ask the Public. Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm doing this in real time, but now it's like I want to make sure I give you guys the right information. And so, yes, it's called Answer the Public. Was one or the other. Answer the Public. So answerthepublic.com is a great website where you can actually research and find out what people are asking, what they go Google for, right? So are they Googling how to stop a housing foreclosure? Or, and if that's not the most searched sentence, they will give you the ones that people search the most. So you want to find out what people are looking for. So maybe then you can go ahead and put up, like I did, a website that answers that question, right? So how do you stop a foreclosure? So I had this one-page site, very simple. You can go on social media too and create a one-page public page on Facebook or whatever, and say, okay, how to stop a foreclosure. And you can give him a report if they ask for it, right? Don't just give it to them or post it on the website, get their information. So, and I had this 2-3 pages report on 7 ways to stop a foreclosure, for example, or how to get equity on properties in bankruptcy court, because when you go to bankruptcy all the time, don't get equity, but there is a way to do that as well, or other things. So kind of think that then, so they Google, people look online, they go on Craigslist, they go on Facebook Marketplace, they go to local events and find out, who they meet and what the situation is. And don't be shy about telling people that you're in real estate. I yesterday, for example, my husband is in the hospital right now, and my husband was talking to one of the nurses there, and he was saying, oh yeah, my wife is in real estate, this and that. So when I came in to visit him, the nurse came to me and started talking to me, and then so I gave her my website, and then she says, I want to invest, I want to learn how to invest. And so I said, great. And so today I'm going to actually bring her this book we have back here, that is going to give her more information about what I do and my backstory. So don't be afraid to tell people you're a real estate investor. You don't know who you meet. There is a great thing on my phone nowadays. I have Blink, BLINQ, with my business card, and it says I'm a real estate investor, I'm a real estate coach. It has all my social media. It has my phone number and email. So it's easy because you go out there, people can scan your business card and you're entering into their phone. So don't be afraid of telling people you're an investor, because you never know who you meet. Like the nurse I met yesterday with my husband, and I'm going to go see her today as well. So, so those are some things. So think about where the investors go. Think about what the what the sellers go, what the sellers are asking online, where they go to get their information, and then also network with local people. And don't be afraid to say that you are in real estate. Okay. Now, the third thing I want to share with you is, and this is also in my book, there was a lady that inspired me. Her name is Donna Viking. So a long time ago, when I started real estate, 4 decades ago, almost, wow, time goes, 38 years to be exact. So she was a power real estate broker. And she was, this was in Hawaii. She was the #1 real estate broker on all the islands. And then she became the president of the board of realtors in Honolulu. So the woman has an outstanding resume. And 2023, I tend to say last year, but we're at 25. In 2023, we went to Hawaii, and I went to see her. I went to her house, and she remembered me, which was such an honor. But I remember sitting down and talking to her, and a lot of the information is in this book about what made her so successful, what made her to be, kind of the best in the business you could ever imagine. And so I would say, what recommendation would you do, or would you say to somebody that's starting in the business? And I had 2 interviews with her. One I was in 2019 when I went to Hawaii, and the other one is in 2023. So in the first interview in 2019, she said to me, follow up. I wish I would have been on top more, or following up with people. And granted, she does an amazing job. This woman, remembers birthdays and this and that. But she says following up, really setting up a consistent way to follow up with people. That was in 2019. And then when I asked again the same question in 2023, she also said, I'm a solution person. I fix things. You bring a situation to me, I'm going to come up with the best possible win-win solution. And so with these 2 things, following up and coming up with win-win situations, those were the secrets of this amazing, probably the most successful real estate broker and investor as a woman I met. She doesn't own a lot of properties, but she owns very strategic properties. She owns some properties there in Hawaii. She owns in the mainland. She owns some really nice apartment buildings. She owns some houses that people are trying to get from her and she won't sell. So she owns a lot of good stuff that she bought over the years. But the thing is that she said following up is what she should have done more of, stay on top of people consistently. And the second thing, becoming more solution oriented, fixing things, because that's what she's good at. So so those are some of the tips that I wanted to share with you. Now, talking about some other things, now marketing strategies. Like I said, going back to where people hang out, what they're looking for. So, how do you reach out to these people? You optimize landing pages. Like I said, giving a report. There is a platform for investors, and is on Carrot is called. And if the team, I don't know if you guys can give here a link. We have actually an affiliate link. They'll give you some bonuses and benefits to that. So on Carrot is you can create different pages and optimize them for different things. So let's say that you want to help people stop foreclosure. Create a page and offer a report. Hey, get a free report on 7 ways to stop a foreclosure. They need to opt in with their name, phone number, and email, and they get a report. Or if you're, targeting tired landlords, right? Says, I have a ways on how you can get out of your rental properties in less than 4 weeks. So, you want to target different things. I had like several websites at one point, and this was before they were the main thing even. So, and each one was just a one page, basically to just get what they call a landing page, to just get their information and send them a report. The other thing is become kind of an authority in your area. So back in the days, we used to call it about farming. Okay, you become the go-to person in an area. How do you do that? So basically, you drive around, you talk with people, you get them brochures. You get them stuff to do. I saw actually cool things here recently that I'm going to start using myself. So I'm getting this mail, from this broker in this area that's obviously she's looking for listings. So she sent it. But what she does, she sends me these flyers. Well, it's actually a nice card flyer. I don't know if I have it here somewhere. It's one of those big cards, or it's folded sometimes, like a little brochure in half. And then there is the address, and it's a tab to keep it closed because she sends it in the mail. So there is a picture of her information, what she does, but the actual flyer brochure, it has information. Like 1 month, she sends me, the different restaurants in the area by cuisine. Another month she sends me the events coming up for January in your area. So obviously you get this, you look at it. Not only I look at it, but I hold on to it because it's like, oh. And I'm actually researching to see if there's a company out there that do it, because she sent me about 3 or 4 over the last 6 months. And I kept all of them because one of them is about entertainment venues. So it has amusement, arcades, cinemas, blah, 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 all the list in my area. One is about restaurants, one is about events, right? So you keep that stuff. That's a good thing, a bit clever. And obviously in one page is all your information. So you need to come up with reaching out to people, right? And so optimize landing pages, really becoming a go-to person, farming in your area. If you create some type of direct marketing, make sure it's something that people hold on to, not just a business card or a card with hey, I'm a realtor. No, you want to say something about, you become the go-to person in that area. The other thing is, another thing that I'm seeing a lot is creating like video content, so there is actually this guy that, through retargeting, I get this guy that's actually sending me videos of why you should choose to work with him, why you should choose him. He's actually a real estate investor. And so that's the thing you do, and then you can use YouTube or Google retargeting. Obviously, you might have to get an agency to do that for you, but that's something later on when you have some budget to do so, right? So there is, what we're moving towards is more what I call inbound leads. or also for doing Facebook ads. But these cost a little bit, but they're very effective. So that's something that maybe is not good for the beginning, but down the road. And so that is some of the things I wanted to share with you. And like I said, going to summarize all of this, and then we're going to share what the raffle is today, and also if you have any questions. But some of the things that I want to share with you is this. Don't hang up on, first of all, you have to talk with people, okay? Conversations. Keep it in conversation. Keep it out of curiosity. Keep it out as, think about, if you saw a house you like for yourself, would you stop at calling or finding out who they are just because you don't want to talk on the phone? No, because you want that house, right? So, and to sound amateur or somebody that doesn't know yet is actually an advantage. Don't ever think it's a disadvantage to say. And if you don't know, if I ask you something you don't know, say, you know what, I need to ask somebody, I need to talk to my partner, I need to get more information. And people appreciate that. And the thing is, at the end of the day, they don't want to deal with some sleek, old time a salesperson. Yeah, I've closed hundreds of properties and blah, blah, blah. They don't want to deal with that, especially when you're talking with distressed owner. They want to deal with a person that's going to listen to them, that is willing to talk about solutions, that is creating. Yeah, of course, they want you to make some money. Nobody works for free, but it's not. They don't feel like you're going to take advantage of them. Okay. So that's the first thing you need to do. So have conversations, finding out what is the situation. Why would they consider selling? Why do they need to get out of it? Why is this is the right time to do whatever they're doing, right? Find out within your conversation. And then follow up with people. Remember, following up and fixing things. That's what Donna Viking said were her two secret weapons. And she wished she would have done more of the following up. And so, but following up and fixing things. And by the way, I see Ruth love all the nuggets. See what the is got me for Christmas? She got me a golden nugget, guys. I wish it was real gold, but because I always say golden nuggets. So she got me a nugget. I thought that was cute. So then you want to go and market where the people actually go looking for solutions, right? So what are they asking online? Where do they go? If you were in their situation, what would you do? Where would you try to get your answers, right? So that's where you want to go. And you want to have websites that target these people, that target, so you can go answer the public and see what are the most specific questions that people ask, and maybe create, one-page website for those questions so people find you. Also, the other thing about OnCarrot is they're very good at optimizing, so you get a lot of people opting in, once you give the report, because it can do SEO optimization. They have different packages, so you can check it out. And then you want to build something clever, like, direct marketing. Use something like I receive, this list of restaurants with the events coming up in your area next month, things like that. People hold on to that stuff. I hold on everything I get from this woman. But the important thing is I know who she is. So, if I ever wanted to sell my condo, guess who I'd call, right? Because she's there. She's on top of my refrigerator with all her brochures. And so those are things that you want to kind of keep an eye on and come up with things, okay? So hopefully this was helpful. I know I covered a lot. We also share a PDF with you at the beginning of the week, so make sure you download it as well. A lot of these prompts are in that PDF. Now, I want to go ahead and share with you the raffle for the week, and I want to talk about that. And also want to invite you. We have a special workshop live. We do this only one time a year, okay? So this is just one time a year, and it's going to be next week. So team, go ahead and post the link to the workshop. Is free. The good special thing about it is that we kind of, if you wonder what you got, the other thing I have beside the golden nugget is I have a crystal ball. Okay, so Liz gave me that. It's over there. I don't want to just step away. Liz gave me a crystal ball too. And so at the beginning of the year, I make predictions of what's coming up for the year, what I think is coming up, and a lot of things are changing, obviously, because of the administration and things like that. And how is that going to affect real estate as an investor? So I'm going to talk about that next week. I'm also going to talk about the new trends coming up within real estate, what you should keep your eyes and ears, for. Because that's the great thing about real estate. And I think one of the reasons that Donna Vicken is still in real estate to this day, she's in her 90s, guys. And she's a very active real estate broker. She is as sharp as she can be. She's out there doing deals. And the moral of the story is real estate keeps you young. But you have to reinvent yourself. You have to adapt with the times. What worked 20, 30 years ago doesn't work today. Okay. So we're going to have a special workshop. So make sure you attend that. We're going to talk about what's going on in the industry, the changes are going to be affected this year and moving forward. We're going to talk about the new things that are out there, the strategy, things that you need to know to really be ahead of the game. So make sure you register for that. Okay, great. So let me go ahead and Alex here posted the link for the workshop. So make sure you grab that. And then let me go ahead and share. Hold on, let me change my slide here. Okay, so this is the book giveaway. It's really some cool books in there. It shows a little small. The book that I really like is the one at the bottom, is Gabrielle Bernstein. I love her books. It's something that very resonates with me. Some of the other books are more with Liz reads up. So I do a lot of audiobooks personally, more than physical books, although I'm going to the library today and get a couple of books. But we're going to give you all the books. On top of that, we're going to give you some bookmarks. I love bookmarks. I actually have a drawer here full of bookmarks. I have a thing about bookmarks. So we're going to give you all of that. So you have to email in and claim within the next 7 days. Okay. So let me see the name here. Let me see. The name here, I just saw you actually, Doreen Yulan, I think how you say your name is. You says, I love books. Doreen, you are, make sure you email and claim your prize. So if the team can put in the email here for them to claim their prize, for Doreen to claim their prize, that would be great. Okay, so congratulations, Doreen Yulan, you have received the special gift. So now, is there any questions? And team, go ahead and put them in our channel, because I see only Facebook. So if any questions coming from any of the other channels, I wouldn't see them. So go ahead. I keep it open here for a few minutes for you guys to post any questions. So let me open up the channel here. Okay, so I'm waiting for any questions to come in. And like I said, go ahead and type away. So anything else, team, that I should be talking about? Well, anybody here that wants to know? I see only Facebook. So for now, until we come across, I do see the Facebook chat. And I think I see Instagram too. Wait. But anyway, any questions, anybody? Now, the biggest thing I want to say is we did a special little retreat last weekend here in Fort Lauderdale. I had these ladies come in and stay with me for 2 full days, and we went on the beach and work on our visions for 2025. And I taught them how to do a vision board with Pinterest. Pinterest has a collage feature. You can do really cool vision boards. And actually, I put down my phone as my wallpaper so I can see it all the time. And then we talked about real estate. We masterminded things. And one of the trends I see the most that people are struggling with is time management and organization. As women, we tend to take up so many things, and we get pulled in different directions. We have a hard time saying no. And that's one of the biggest struggle. So if anything this year, get a control of your time. We have a lot of training. We have a lot in the group. We have a lot, Liz talks a lot about this during the mindset calls. We have a lot of tips on how to do it. So you guys have to do something that works for you at the end of the day, okay? But do yourself a favor. We all have 24 hours in a day. We have about 1,000 minutes each day that we can be productive in doing something, okay? These 1,000 minutes are going to go on regardless. So they're going to pass. So do yourself a favor. Make this year that you live intentional, you live productively, and you budget your time. Okay, so that's the thing that we have a lot of training on that, and that's one of the things that we discussed over this last weekend. Came up with some really good solutions besides talking obviously about real estate. Okay, so one of the questions come from Doreen, the one who won the raffle. My issue is consistent seller leads to contact. Okay, so we do a lot of workshops about this. We have actually the wholesaling workshop. We have the masterclass, which is the next one coming up in less than a month. But the thing is to keep in the beginning, you go out there and do things to stir up the waters. Then after this, you are going to build the pipelines, as I call it. Okay. So that's why I always talk about in the beginning, don't do anything crazy glamorous. You can do some of the quick wins strategies that I call to get some deals and some closing. And then after that, you're going to build a consistency. Okay. So don't worry about the consistency as much in the beginning until you get some deals under contract and sold. Then you can use the money from the deals to build the pipelines and the consistency, if it makes sense, because you most likely need some help through some tools, so for some things like that to help you stay the consistent deal flow. Okay, so don't put what they say, the quote, don't put the carriage before the horse. Let's get the horse first, which is your deal. Get a couple deals and then invest the money in buying the carriage and put it behind the horse. Okay. Okay. Any other questions, anybody? Great. Well, if not, have a happy new year. Hopefully, I'll see you next week during the workshop. It's not the usual workshop. This is something I do only once a year where I kind of share my vision for what's going on in the industry. I've been pretty much spot on for a long time because I've been through ups and downs. At the end of the day, I always say it doesn't matter what the administration is, doesn't matter the economy. I've done real estate now for 4 decades. Come on, guys, I started when Reagan was president. Okay, that's how much we go back. And so the thing is, changes in administration, changes in the economy, big world crises like the Gulf War, 9/11, housing crisis, COVID, all of that. I've lived and survived and thrived through all of them. So, come on the workshop. Let's talk. I'll share with you some good things on how to deal with different things as well. And let's talk real estate for 2025. So I'll see you then. Thanks everybody for being here and have a great new year. Take care.